wishes and wonder. The spirit of youth has come here to stay.
Hey friends, it's Mia. Welcome back to the channel. Check it out. We have Evie here today. Evie is my beautiful Jezebel sculpt by Sheila Mrafka, and I call her Evie Claire. She is an authentic sculpt, and she was masterfully created by Angelica of Clingy Monkey Nursery. And I adore this baby. Today we are going to participate in two themes for our friend Suzanne over at Suzanne's Babies. First and foremost, we are participating in the previous week's theme, which I'm only just now getting an opportunity to film, and that is pets. So as you can see, Evie is wearing this beautiful knit overall dress by Mayoral, and it has a big white kitten face on the bib. The kitty has little black eyes, black nose, and black whiskers, and she has a bow in her hair. Now, the top beneath it did not come along with this. That long sleeve ivory colored onesie with the lace at the shoulders and the wrists is one that I purchased from Jacqueline Kramer's booth at the Dolls of the World Expo, actually last year's, not this year's. But this little jumper dress is so precious, guys. It is in that peachy colored pink and white. So the bottom is peach and white stripes, and the bib portion is that peachy pink color. And then she's wearing white knee socks with a little eyelet trim at the top, and her pink leather moccasins. Or they're suede? No, I don't know. I don't know. But they're cute with a little fringe on it, also in pink. And she's got a sheer white organza headband bow tied around her gorgeous hair, which was rooted to perfection because Angelica at Clingy Monkey Nursery, her painting and hair rooting is dynamic. So Evie is napping in the Docatot here, which is white, and there's a gorgeous floral muslin blanket there right beside her. And the blanket has a white background and it's covered in watercolored flowers. Lots of pink in there with some blues and yellows, and it's just so pretty. Greens, of course. And this blanket I got this year from Ashton Bryan's booth at the Dolls of the World Expo 24. And yeah, so there she is. There's my gorgeous Evie Claire doing pink for Suzanne and pets for Suzanne. But there is a really awesome reason that I chose to do cats or kittens today for the pet theme. Now, for many, many, many years, guys, I was a dog owner and a dog lover, which I am still a dog lover, hands down. And I always thought that kittens were cute, and I wasn't so sure about cats because I used to have this feeling that they were really hard to read, and you never really knew quite what was going on in their minds. I don't know, but for some reason, I always had an easier time reading dogs. And I was never allowed to have cats growing up because my sister was severely allergic. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I came across a little kitten and was holding it and cuddling it and wanted to bring it home. And I had to just put it down or whatever. And then I would come in the door and my sister would be sneezing just for the fact that I had kitten hair on my top or my jacket or whatever. And then when I grew up and got married and had kids of my own, we got a dog. And really that was it. I just never thought about really owning a cat. Several years ago, my beloved dog passed away, and it literally gutted me. I mean, gutted to my core, because she was my baby and she will always have my heart, lock, stock, and barrel. And after that, I swore off getting any other pets because I was like, no way, I get far too attached. I become obsessed with them. I love them so much. And then if something happens to them, I'm devastated. So that, in addition to the fact that we travel now, we just figured that, my husband and I figured that we're done with the whole pet thing. But if you are familiar with that old term, that old phrase, never say never, that applies here in a big way. Now, in our neighborhood, we tend to have a lot of stray cats, feral cats. And many of my neighbors feed them and they care for them in their yards. And if you're familiar with my yard, I face the golf course, and we also have a lot of quote unquote golf course cats that romp around on the course, and they seem to just exist there. Well, anyway, a few months back, this one cat, who seemed to be maybe under a year old, a tabby, this cat would come into my yard and sort of hang out. And at first, we just sort of coexisted with one another. So one day I was just sitting on the patio, enjoying the bright blue sky and warm temperatures. And I looked across the yard, and there she was, beautiful little white, black, and brown tabby. And she was like enjoying the sun over on the far end of the yard. We just kind of looked at one another, and then she got up and she just walked across the back of the yard by the garden. And I noticed that she looked kind of thin. And it struck me. I was like, I don't know. I feel like I need to feed this cat. The idea of an animal being hungry and not having a food source, I can't take it. So I told my husband, I'm like, I think I'm going to get a bag of cat food and feed that cat. So I went out, I got some cat food, and ironically, I didn't see this cat for the next few days. And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? What happened to her? And my husband and I used to talk about her from time to time. So we called her Phoebe or Phoebes as a nod to Phoebe from one of my all-time favorite shows, which is Friends, because Phoebe's claim to fame was her song called Smelly Cat. Now, of course, I wasn't going to name this stray cat Smelly Cat, so we named her Phoebe. So we'd go, my husband and I would go, where's Phoebe? Whatever happened to her? And then like a week went by, and suddenly she starts showing up again. And this time she has a companion, a beautiful Siamese kitten. Not really a kitten, like probably 6 or 8 months old, judging by its size. And these two were like inseparable. They were like joined at the hip. They did everything together. They played in the yard together. They hopped the fence together. They played on the golf course together. And they would notice us when we were out there, and we would notice them. And we started to talk to them. And originally, I thought they were 2 girls. So we named the Siamese Pippa, because we figured Pippa and Phoebe, it sounds really cute. Anyway, at that point, again, I noticed that they were both really thin, and I said to my husband, I'm going to feed these little babies. So I started to feed them. And before long, feeding them and giving them water became something I did every single day, and they began to recognize it and recognize me and my husband. And we got to become closer. They would come right up to the back door, the sliding door in the kitchen, and I'd feed them there. And they would come around 3 times a day and sort of just hang out with us. Eventually, they got closer and closer to us, so I could really observe what they were, because I wasn't sure. I was like 95% sure that Phoebe was female, and I think she definitely is. But the closer Pippa got, we realized, that's a boy. It was glaringly evident. So we just said, okay, we'll just call him Pip. So Phoebe and Pip became our adopted feral cats. And I noticed with Phoebe that one of her ears looked like it had been clipped. And I was speaking to one of my neighbors about that, and she told me that that's part of a program the town does. Someone probably trapped Phoebe, brought her in to be spayed or neutered, whatever, and then they return the cat to the wild. And that mark, the little clip on the ear, indicates that the cat has already been fixed. So, in case someone else wants to bring it in, they don't put the cat through any unnecessary procedure. And this is just something that the town does to help keep the, I guess, the population of strays down. So I was like, oh, okay, because I didn't know why her little ear was clipped. But it was obvious that Pip wasn't fixed. And I thought about trying to trap him and get him fixed, but I don't know. After we spoke to a few people about it, they were saying, like, you've just established this trusting bond with them. It's probably not a good idea to trap them because you just kill the bond. The bond just breaks at that point. So we are and were getting extremely bonded with these two cats. Now they are feral. They don't come in the house, even though they seem to want to. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's starting to get chilly. What do we do? So I ordered them their own little house, big enough for both of them. It has a little doorway for them to go in. It's off the ground, and the roof hinges open and stays closed. It's completely insulated, all sides and the bottom. I also got them like a self-warming cushion, like a rug that works with their own body heat to keep them warm. I put a blanket in there for them. I put their food dishes in there for them, and they love it. So I also was concerned about their care and feeding during the times that my husband and I will be away. So then I bought a self-feeder, and I had to make sure that it would fit inside their house. And I'm only using that for when we are not home because they like to see me every day. They generally eat 3 times a day, and I keep their little food dishes inside their house. I had to train them to do that because they used to eat right at our back door. But now they know that I bring out the food, I put it in their bowls inside their house, and the water is a gravity-fed water dispenser. It's beside their house on the outside. And yeah, I mean, this has become like their routine. So this has been going on for the past maybe 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks on the outside. And at first they were really kind of skittish if I would get too close to them. But now they're rubbing up against my leg. They rub up against their house. They rub up against the railings on the stoop. It's like they are basically marking their territory, so to speak. And we're really comfortable with one another. They are so cute because sometimes I won't even see them, but I'll open up the back door and they'll hear it and they just come bolting toward me, toward the back door. They're so cute. So of course we got them some toys, and forget it. Now we are certified feral cat owners. And yeah, the rest, as they say, is history. So we'll see where it goes from here. But Pip and Phoebe are our babies. And of course, I'm going to insert some pictures and footage for you right here in this video so you can meet them as well.
An innocence longing for just one more time to believe in the magic of a nursery rhyme. Wishes and wonder her heart understands what your voice cannot say. Wishes and wonder, the spirit of youth has come here to stay.
You want to be on YouTube? You want to be on YouTube?
An innocence longing for just one more
Pretty
time
baby girl,
to believe in the
You
magic
are.
of a
I'm a pretty baby
nursery
girl.
rhyme.
I'm
Wishes
Phoebe.
and wonder
I'm so
your heart
pretty.
understands
This is their
what your voice cannot
little
say.
house that we got for them.
Wishes and wonder, the spirit of youth has come here to stay.
All right, my friends, that is going to do it from Evie, Pip, Phoebe, and me for today. I hope you enjoyed meeting our newest pets and seeing gorgeous Evie Claire once again. I invite you to stay close because I'll be back really soon with some more of my babies and some more videos. Thank you to Suzanne for giving us these themes and to each one of you for being here. So stay close, stay safe, and stay healthy. We love you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.